Who did the Church Fathers tell us to turn to on Holy Saturday when God is silent? The Church has long understood that on Holy Saturday, when faith seemed to have collapsed for many, Mary remained steadfast. Holy Saturday is perhaps the quietest day of the entire liturgical year. The noise of Good Friday has passed. The glory of Easter has not yet come. The Church waits in a kind of stillness that can feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. The tabernacle is empty. The altar is bare. There is no Massachusetts. It is a day marked not by action, but by silence. And in that silence, we are invited into something we rarely choose, to remain when God seems absent. The Church Fathers reflected deeply on this mysterious day. One ancient homily describes Christ's descent into the realm of the dead in these striking words. Something strange is happening. There is a great silence on earth today, a great silence and stillness. The whole earth keeps silence because the King is asleep. This is not the silence of abandonment, but of hidden work. Christ is not absent. He is descending into death itself to break its hold. And yet, from the perspective of those on earth, all appears still. The apostles have fled. The crowds have dispersed. The visible presence of Christ is gone. The Church has long understood that on Holy Saturday, when faith seemed to have collapsed for many, Mary remained steadfast. While Scripture does not record her actions explicitly on this day, the tradition of the Church has consistently held that she alone kept faith alive. Holy Saturday. St. John Paul II reflected on this mystery when he wrote that on Holy Saturday, Mary alone kept alive the flame of faith, preparing to receive the joyful and astonishing announcement of the resurrection. In her, the Church continued to believe when everything else seemed to have failed. The Fathers saw in Mary not only the mother of Christ, but the model of the Church itself, one who trusts even in darkness. St. Ambrose, writing of Mary's presence at the cross, gives us a glimpse of her interior strength. She stood by the cross and looked with pious eyes upon the wounds of her Son, because she awaited not the death of her child, but the salvation of the world. That same steadfastness does not end on Good Friday. It carries into Holy Saturday. Mary does not withdraw. She does not despair. She remains. And this is where the Church Fathers quietly point us. When God seems silent, stay with Mary. Because Holy Saturday is not only a day in the liturgical calendar, it is also something we experience in our own lives. There are moments when prayer feels dry, when answers do not come, when God seems distant or hidden. We know, in faith, that He is at work, but we do not see it. The temptation in those moments is to move on, to fill the silence, or to assume that nothing is happening. Holy Saturday teaches us otherwise. God is often doing His deepest work in silence. Saint Ephrem the Syrian, reflecting on the mystery of Christ's hidden action, writes, "He who was silent in death spoke in the depths, and the dead heard His voice and lived." The silence is not empty. It is full of meaning, even if we cannot yet perceive it. Mary shows us how to remain in that space. She does not rush ahead to Easter. She does not try to resolve the tension. She keeps watch. She believes. She waits. And perhaps that is why the Church has always turned to her so naturally in times of uncertainty. She is the one who knows what it is to trust when the promises of God seem, for a moment, obscured. St. Augustine reminds us that faith itself often precedes understanding. Faith is to believe what you do not see. The reward of this faith is to see what you believe. Holy Saturday is the day that lives inside that truth. We are not asked to understand everything. We are asked to remain at the tomb, to remain in the quiet, to remain, as Mary did, in hope. Because the silence of Holy Saturday is not the end of the story.